Hello. Good morning. This is what this is what we got going on this morning. This is what we're rocking this morning. Um, I apologize for being late. I needed to sew around my cover, and I needed to make sure all of the packages that I have been packing and getting ready to ship were sorted. Oops. Hold on. Here we go. So I had to make sure all the packages that I've been getting ready are sorted with who's paid and who hasn't paid because the mail is supposed to pick up today. And I didn't want them to attempt to pick them up when they were not sorted because basically things don't go. So anyway, they're sorted. We're waiting on the mail pickup. If the mail pickup doesn't happen while I'm home today, I will take them and drop them off at the post office. So if you have paid your invoice from the live sales, every single package that has been paid for is either already shipped or being shipped today. There are quite a few unpaid invoices. So if you were expecting an invoice, every invoice has been sent, other than there are 3 people who need a journal added to their invoice. There are 2 people that I don't have information for, and those 2 people, Jane Johnson, I don't have an email or shipping information for you. And there's one other one, a Tammy H. Tammy H, I don't have your email address and your shipping information. So if Tammy H is out there watching this video, or Jane Johnson, I have your orders packed and they're ready to go, but I need your information so I can send your invoice and so I can print your shipping label because I don't know where to send your stuff. So other than that, we're caught up on that side of things. I did sew around my journal cover right before I went live, and I did run out there and sort the packages. And I am rocking this. This is how my hair looks if I don't do it. If you just shower and get out of the shower, you end up with this. And it's kind of curly, but like not curly enough to be curly. It's just like that. So I have my hair done later because I have roots showing. So when I go to get my hair done, I don't bother to do it before she does it, if that makes any sense. So that's what we have going on today. I have been running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get everybody's packages situated, everybody's invoices yeah, that just came out, situated. So I am so looking forward to getting everything done so that we can all be like wrapped up and everything get to you guys before Christmas. And it is a little bit hectic over here, as you guys can tell. And I am a little exhausted, but we're almost at the finish line where everyone will get this beautiful package of things to open at Christmas or before Christmas, whenever you open your package. Goodness, guys, how are you? How are all of you? Hello, Kendall. Hello, Lisa Maria. Hello, Susan Elliott. Hello, hello. Who else do we have in here? Ria is here. Debbie is here. Hello. Carol Edison is here. Hello. Thank you for joining, guys. Diana B., thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, Jerry is here. Misty is here. Hello, hello. All right, so we're going to work on this French. Jennifer Miller's here. We're going to work on this French Victorian journal today. I sewed around the cover and I sewed in a pocket. I will show you guys that. Then I think I'm going to sew in the signature. That way I can start putting in pockets and things like that. So I brought in this stuff to do that. Then I think we're going to just make some pockets today, because if I can finish today with all the pockets glued in my journal, I don't know that we will, but I will try very hard to sew in my signature and make and glue in all of my pockets. Then we will be nearly done with it. We will just need to make the tags and journal cards and things, which we have master boards already cut up for and stuff like that. So we're pretty good as far as progress on that journal for only being, one video in. This is the second video of the series. So we're pretty good there. Coffee dyeing Christmas paper for the journal. Yay! Last year, I coffee dyed a whole bunch of Christmas paper. Was it last year or the year before? See, now I don't know. But at one point, I coffee dyed a whole bunch of beautiful Christmas paper, and I had meant to do that this year, but I just need another me. If there was just one more of me, it would be great. I could get everything done that I dream up in my head. Because I know you guys are constantly telling me that I do a lot, like, like I don't sleep and how do you get it all done? Basically, I don't sleep. I look like this 90% of the time or worse. And not complaining, just saying if I just had a little bit more time, there's so many other projects that I wanted to do with you guys and like for you guys, and I just don't have time to get them all done. But in the new year, fun happening. Fun happening. Oh my gosh. It's so crazy. So the roots are what the roots are, right? But so my hair, it's just like it kind of looks a mess and it's frizzy because honestly this is second day hair. No, wait, this is the third morning. This is the third morning. So it's actually 3 days in. The first day it actually has some pretty nice curl. The second day we're pretty good, but the third day we start to get super frizzy like this. And again, I really am not going to care about it because all I'm doing is like getting in my car, driving to the hair salon and getting out of my car. And so, you know, it'll be fine later. Later today, it'll be fine. No one will ever know. I have this curly hair that's kind of curly and then not curly. So, yeah, I don't know what happens with that, but is what it is. I just wish it would make up its mind. Either be straight so I can have straight hair or be curly, but don't be in between because that's just a mess. Anyway, you guys are not here for hair talk. You guys, uh, we always want what we don't have. That's just how it is. So when I was packing your packages, oh my goodness, there's so much like pile. So here's how it happens. I sort everything into piles or boxes, and then when I'm walking by, I can see everybody's like piles and boxes. They're visuals, so they're I can see them. I can't talk either today, and so when I walked by and saw all the little Christmas packages and goodies. And you guys do such a great job selecting what each one of you individually wants. And when I pack your orders, I am amazed every single time. You guys put together like perfectly curated packages for yourself, right? And so it's so fun for me because everyone has different tastes, right? Like we all like the vintage antique paper, right? That's why we're here. But everyone has a slight different variation of some people are really, really soft and like soft pink and cream and neutral and frilly and very feminine and, just soft like that. Other people are like, ooh, I like the grunge. I like all the old, more, I don't know how to say it, more industrial kind of looking things. So it's really interesting when I pack the packages, the orders, because I get to see over time, I can kind of see, oh, this person tends to gravitate more towards this kind of style or colorway or whatever. And so I love that part because I kind of get to know what you guys like and what you don't like. And also now that we have the Facebook group, I get to see what you guys make. And that kind of can, lend my mind to think of a certain style with a certain person. So that also helps me because when I'm shopping, especially shopping the way that I do in France, I need to know what you guys like. And I need to know how many buyers gravitate more towards grungy and how many buyers gravitate more towards shabby chic. And I know it's not an exact science because I didn't ask you. And a lot of us have tastes that are different, like we change our style, like we're doing a different theme or something like that. So, I don't lock you guys into anything, obviously. I'm just saying it's helpful to know generally what your guys' tastes are from what you've purchased to tell me what to purchase for you guys in France. Oh my gosh. So packages are leaving today. Packages also left yesterday or the day before. See, now my days are all running together because I didn't get enough sleep. But yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday, packages also left. They left on Thursday and Friday. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday packages have left or are leaving. I know we will have packages next week, and that's fine. I will schedule a pickup every single day that there is something for them to pick up. So just because, and a lot of people messaged me, just because I'm technically like on vacation. It's not a vacation, it's a working vacation. All I'm doing is not doing live sales. Everything else will be the same. So if you guys pay your invoice, your package is going to ship. It's not like I'm just going to hold it for forever. The only thing I will say is as we get super close to Christmas, the week of Christmas, I probably won't ship the week of Christmas until maybe after Christmas, maybe Friday, Saturday after Christmas, just because if I ship before Christmas, who knows what's going to happen to your package. I would rather just hold it just a couple of days and let the post office get their work done and breathe and then ship your package, that kind of a thing. You do have Santa radar. There's tracking. There's tracking for every single package that leaves here. So you have Santa radar. Italian Renaissance. Ooh. Ooh, lovely. Did you guys happen to see, Ria, you did the gold dots, right? I'm not imagining that was you. Did you guys happen to see in the Facebook group, and I promise I will get to crafting. I'm not going to talk longer. Ria, I think is the person who she posted in the group. She made her own Italian Florentine paper by applying thousands of little gold dots on some kind of florally paper, some paper that looked like Italian Florentine, or maybe it was Italian Florentine, but she added gold to it. Ria's going to have to tell us exactly what she did, but I know she added like thousands of gold dots on some paper to make it into Italian Florentine paper. I don't know how she had the patience to sit there and do it, but she did. And it looked amazing. You guys will have to look at it in the group because it's posted in the Facebook group. I forgot to post the link for the Facebook group. Most of you guys know about the Facebook group. The Facebook group is called Junk Journal Makers. Let me get a link up real quick. So if I put the link in, that way anyone new who is watching can go in there and look at Ria's paper. You'll have to find it, but you guys know if you're looking for something from a certain person, there is a search bar in the group. So you can type in the person's name and then all of their posts will come up. So that's a good way too. I'm going to post it here and see if it goes in this way. So if you guys search in the group for anyone, you can search for what I've posted. You could search for what Jennifer's posted. If Jennifer posted in there, I don't know. You can search for Ria's posts in there. So you guys can search and find, each other's posts that way too. And if you just want to see the Christmas challenge stuff, gotta link it up here. If you just want to see the Christmas challenge stuff, you guys can see that just by searching Christmas challenge, and that should come up. And it should show you everybody's challenge thing. And as far as challenges go, I will just remind you guys gently that the challenge is for ephemera for junk journals. So if you're posting pictures of things that are not ephemera, I would just gently like to steer you back into the posting of ephemera category, just so that everyone is on a level playing field, because we have people who are literally sitting there crafting a piece of ephemera for a junk journal every single day to post it. And then we have people that are, taking a picture of something that maybe they made or maybe they like or whatever, and it's not technically ephemera. And so I just want to level the playing field and remind you guys gently that it is for ephemera for junk journals. So if it can go inside of a junk journal, like a pocket, a tag, a journal card, if it's something that can be inserted or glued into a junk journal, that is what I consider ephemera. And it's not just my definition. If you guys think it qualifies for ephemera, please post it, like a paper clip or whatever. Anything you guys can put inside of a junk journal, I think qualifies as ephemera. If it's something outside of the box, just post it, I guess. And, I'm just trying to think of the poor people who are sitting there crafting something every day for this challenge and just trying to make it more fair. That's all. So Sakura Jelly Roll in gold. Perfect, Ria. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Ria has been very, very busy in that Facebook group. And I'm so happy that she is there and doing all of it. You guys are so good in commenting on each other's posts. And I love that. You guys are making friends in the Facebook group. It's been awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera down so we can get started with what we're going to do today instead of me chit-chatting for more hours. Okay, there we go. This is what I got going on. This is a bookbinding cradle. If you haven't seen one of these are 3D printed bookbinding cradles. And they have a groove in the bottom. A little, how can I show this to you? A little groove right here. This is where when you put your journal in and you use your pokey tool goes down there in that groove to poke your holes. That's what I'm going to use today to sew in this signature. Sewing in a signature standing at a desk is always harder for me than when I'm sitting in my chair in my craft room. And I think it's because I use the desk for leverage a lot too. So before we sew in our signature, this is the cover. I need to trim some strings and whatever because I literally just sewed around it. But you can see on my cover, remember I was telling you guys to be careful with your glue. And then right as I was telling you, this happened. But I was really good and didn't get it anywhere else other than right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put gold lace down here at the bottom once I get a little further along with decorating my cover. So we're not going to see this right here. I will add some trim or some gold lace or something. I don't really want it to hang over the edge because I've got my pocket hanging over the edge, but I'm going to add some kind of trim or lace or something to cover this. There's only glue on this side, but we're going to go all the way across. Or maybe we'll just do a section. I don't know. But anyway, that will be covered up. But I did really good not getting glue anywhere else. You can see I've got a nice firm crease here because we scored it before we folded it and covered it and all that kind of stuff. I've got my fraying edges. I've sewn around it twice straight. I don't know if you guys can see. I've sewn around it twice straight, like right through here. You can see 2 channels of straight sewing. And then I went around twice and did the messy stitching. So it's got 2 channels of straight that are slightly spaced apart, and then messy all the way around twice also. So it has been sewn around 4 times. This is what the inside currently looks like. You can see my messy stitching and you can see my channels of straight stitching. When I do messy stitching, I always do some straight stitching also, just because I feel like the straight stitching gives you the frame and the messy is the fun part. You can see at the bottom, I have sewn in an eyelet pocket. This is a slightly cream colored, pardon me for a minute, a tickle in my throat. This is a cream colored eyelet pocket, and I need to trim it, obviously. I've sewn all of my stitching around my cover first, and then I sewed in my pocket because I didn't want the messy stitching and all of that on top of my pocket. You could have, I just chose not to. For one reason is if you're going to do the messy stitching, it's very easy to catch your pocket corner over here, and then it will fold down on you and stuff like that. So it's just easier to sew one stitch around your pocket. And I did use a red burgundy kind of, matching color thread, which also took some time this morning. First of all, I had to find the thread. Second of all, I had to spool it onto the bobbin. So anyway, we have an eyelet pocket. I have a tickle in my throat. It's not leaving me. And when I sewed in the eyelet pocket, I left it hanging over the edge just a little bit, just as a fun little detail. And then on the sides, I always cut my lace just a little bit over, and then I'll come back in and trim, probably right now, with scissors and just even this off. But I like to give myself a little bit in case my pocket moves. So how I do it is, I told you I sew all the way around the cover first, and then I do 1 stitch to sew on the pocket, and I use those little sewing clips just to clip my pocket to my cover as I'm sewing it, I remove the clips. So that's how I did. Don't sew down the center. Don't ever sew down the center here. Your pocket will end up being too tight. This is going to get sewn in when we sew in our signature, our papers. And so you don't need to sew down the center here to make a pocket channel. At the top up here, you can see the eyelet is just kind of rough. That's the way the eyelet comes. And I do have some trim that I'm going to put on the top of the pocket also. I brought those trims in, the laces and trims. So we'll add a nice fun trim at the top so we won't really see these little peaks that you're seeing right now. So that's kind of that. Before we sew in our signature, we need to put that trim on because I'm not going to get the trim on after I sew in the signature. So you want to do all of your work on your cover construction before you sew in your signature. Let me get my scissors. We're going to trim the lace edges. We're just going to trim the lace edges, and I'm just going to do it by hand up against the cover. So I'm putting the scissor blade up against the cover, and I'm just trimming all that pocket off. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to put my scissors right up against that cover. It's a nice thick cover, so it gives me the perfect edge to trim. And then if I have any of those sewing strings that are too long, I will go ahead and get rid of them. Give them a little haircut. And we're good. And I think you guys can see the fraying. It's going to make me choke. So we trimmed our pocket. Goodness, I don't know what's going on. Okay, pocket trimmed. Let's add some fun trim across the pocket. Now would be a great time for a lint roller. Let's add some fun trims. I was looking at these. These are all from Hobby Lobby. I was looking at these, wondering if I could do that across there. The only thing with this one is it's really bumpy and thick. But I really like that one. This guy is also cute. He is very small. Let me find out how he opens. He's really cute, and he's not bumpy. So maybe we would just do like this across the top because he's not bumpy. And then I brought in one more. This one I believe is bumpy. I cannot get it open. They tape them so well that I can't get them open. But I think he's also bumpy. He's different than the first one, but also kind of bumpy. Not as bumpy, but kind of. So there's the thin one, and then there's these ones. And obviously, I just like these ones. Can we get away with it? Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's do the bumpy one. The one that is the third choice. The one that is not as bumpy as the first choice. Let's do that one. So we got all those open. We can play with more of them later. Not going to use these guys. There was one other one. It looked like this. These are all Hobby Lobby trims. Let me move my monitor so I can actually see you guys. There we go. The eyelet peeking out the bottom, it's fun. I usually, if I sew in a pocket, I almost always do that. So I just cut a little extra. And I need Fabri-Tac to put this on. And I also need something that is non-stick. I'm telling you, this parchment paper, it's been great. Something that is non-stick. to stick inside of my eyelet, because my eyelet is, you know, it's a thin fabric. And if we're going to put this big heavy trim on there, I'm going to need to use, this is the trim. If we're going to put this big heavy trim on there, I'm going to need to use pretty decent amount of, it looks like it's a little imperfect. Do you guys see? See the little bumpies? I'm just going to leave them, but it looks a little imperfect to me. Anyway, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. We're going to have to use a good bit of it. And so, am I going to have enough if I trim that? Barely. There's tape on this end, and I just don't want to end up having the tape out there. So I need to put something in between so that when I put the Fabri-Tac on, it's not going through and gluing to my cover. Hopefully you guys understand that part. And we're just going to glue it on. He doesn't want to stay straight because he was on that rounded spool. So I am trying my hardest to straighten him out a little bit, because he's going to want to move. If you glue him on like this, he's going to want to move. See how he kind of wants to twist and turn and not be perfectly straight? Yep. We see the spool of this, because these little pieces that are imperfect are bothering me. They're kind of like that throughout the whole entire thing. Oh well, we're going to do it anyway. Let me grab my Fabri-Tac. Phone call. I talked about nothing for the beginning, Misty, honestly. You guys know I babble. Okay, we're just going to do it. I have zero room. We're just going to do it. You could sew this on also. It would be nice to sew it on. I'm trying to be sparing with this, and you probably should spread it with your finger. I need to be sparing, but I also need to cover. Hopefully that's enough. This is very kind of, you know, thick ribbon trim. I don't know. It's kind of braided trim. I'm just making sure I have enough and paying a lot of attention to your corners, because that's the stress point of a pocket, and you want to make sure that the edge of your trim stays down. And then we're just going to place it on there. If you have a little silicone spatula, that is very helpful for gluing on laces and trims. Then you don't get your fingers all gluey. And so you just want to kind of hold it. We're not going to hold forever, but we're going to hold it for a little bit. And I'm lining it up with the peaks. So as long as I don't see any peaks peeking out, I'm probably straight. And then just like we trimmed off the eyelet, we'll trim off the edges here in a minute. But this trim is braided. And anytime you have a braided trim, it might continue to unravel on you. So that's why, again, I put a lot of glue down here at the corners. And so I'm going to make sure that those are really glued down before I continue. And then you can see on the back side, we do have a little glue seepage. That's fine. I just want to smooth it out with my fingers. You can see I've got a little glue on my fingers. Just want to smooth out the back side because I don't want any gigantic lumps of glue, because it's going to be a pocket and people are going to be sliding in, you know, journal cards or tags or whatever they're putting in there. So I've flipped around the little paper just because it's not as gluey on this side, or it's not gluey on this side, to kind of help it dry. Everything feels good there. It looks pretty good. I think we're good, guys. So we're going to let that dry for just a second. And let's look at our signature and make sure that everything is good in that. I'm so happy to get to craft a little bit. I'm so exhausted, but I'm so happy to get to craft a little bit. Oh my goodness. Next year will include much more planning. All right, the signature. What we have for a signature is, I got little dried glue stick pieces. The signature. I don't want sticky fingers. So my book opens to this page. I like it. So right now I'm just making sure everything is in the right place. All of my papers are lined up where I want them to go, because I'm going to sew this in here in a minute. We've got some coffee dye, some ledger. Just making sure everything is right side up. Occasionally when I go too fast, I sew pages upside down. That's never fun. I may or may not have done that on your little Christmas journal. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you didn't even flip through every single page. So if someone happens to get one where I've sewn a page upside down, please let me know. So this page right here, it's really, it's overhanging at the bottom. And so I just want to make sure it's more even. And then I'll put it back in. So that's kind of the point of what I'm doing right now. And I think we said this one needed trimmed too. You can actually trim maybe just that one. I'm going to trim it quick. So this one was sticking out the edge too much. I do not have a trimmer in here. So we're going to get what we're going to get. I need a trimmer. I need to go get a trimmer, but in lieu of having a trimmer in here, ooh, the pages weren't folded perfectly. We get what we get and we don't throw a fit. The straw paper is not cut straight to begin with, so that's part of the fun of it. There's this part here where we were, and then there's this part. And so I can see we have our ephemera in here. We don't need that in here. I wondered why it was so thick. It's because there's ephemera in there. Okay, so we're good there now. We're not hanging out, and I like the fact that it's a little shorter. Everything feels good. This last little page right here may need to trim also. I'm just going to do it while we have the book. While we have the book here. A trimmer would be ideal, but I'm too lazy to go across the room and get it, I guess. Across the hall and get it. So I've just trimmed a good section there to make sure we were not hanging out. If your pages, when you fold them, poke out too far, then when you put your book together and, sew in your signature, those pages might hang out of the edge of your cover. They probably wouldn't in this case for me, but I just wanted to make sure that, they have some space there. I don't want anything that's going to be too close to the edge. So I think we're good here. So before I sew in my signature, I find the center, wherever my center is. I thought we just had it right here. I put my pages together. I push it in sideways like this. And then I squeeze in the center with my thumbs and make sure all of my pages are pushed really far back up here into the spine, into the fold. And I just kind of squeeze them there. And then we'll get our cover done. Nothing's hanging over too far, I don't believe. Get our cover done, and we're going to sew this one in. How are we doing over here? We're good. I apologize for the motorcycles outside. My neighbors are doing something, and they have ATVs. So right now I'm measuring from the bottom to the top and making sure that I'm evenly spaced. And so at this point, I like to grab my cradle, stick my journal, and you push it down in there and you push your signature in. This is going to be a little hard to see because the cradle is black and the journal, you know, is a dark green. And so I'm just lining it up and evening it out. I don't want more space on one side or the other. I just want it even. Once it's in there and I'm happy with it and I've pushed it down in the center like you see me doing, I have just started, you know, really lightly clipping it. I don't feel like we need to over clip everything. I am going to trim off the edge of that gold trim here in a second. Just clip your pages, your paper signature to your cover. That's all I've done, is clipped my paper to my cover. And then with your pokey tool, you do not need, if you're doing a single signature, you do not need to measure. You do not need to care whether it's perfectly even. You don't. You're going to find the center, a roughly center. So like, you know, wherever I believe the center of my pages are, and I'm going to poke a hole. And I'm going to move my hole around just a little bit, give myself some space. And then I'm going to go about 1.5 inches in, about 1.5 inches in from either side. So about 1.5 inches in from this side. Oops. And then just moving around. Okay. And then when I have my last hole poked, I'm going to leave my pokey tool in there, pull it out of the cradle. I no longer need my cradle. And I've got this, and I've got a pokey tool sticking out. And so for me, I know I'm putting lace on the spine. So I'm going to go ahead, because I'm using a very large needle. I'm going to go ahead and open up these holes by sticking my pokey tool all the way in and pushing. Because if you don't give yourself a big enough hole for your needle to go through, that's when you run into problems. And if you're adding lace down the spine, you really don't need to care about how big the hole gets. Some people use a crocodile and poke their holes that way. That's fine too. See, I'm using a very large needle. Very, very large. And the reason being is because without readers on, I cannot see the hole of this needle to thread it. So for thread, I'm using the wax linen, and I'm just going to go 3 times. And I'll go a little extra because I want to make sure that my ties in the center are nice and long. So then I did like 3, roughly 3, a little extra if you want long ties. I'm going to thread this needle as much as I can. And I just, you know, pull some through so that my thread doesn't come my needle doesn't come unthreaded as I'm working with it. And then you're going to go in the center. So from the inside, you go in the center hole. Okay. Pull that one all the way through. Get your tail and put your tail down here at the bottom. You really do not need to worry about the tail at this point. Just leave it wherever it goes. Then you go up through your bottom hole from the back through your bottom hole, and then go in there. And then you're going to go out from the top, out from the top. And now here you want to kind of pull here's where you care about your tail, because you're going to go back in this center hole and there's already a string there. So this is the only point really you care about your tail. Put your tail roughly where you think you want it to be and pull it tight. That way this string back here is tight. And with that string being tight, I generally wrap it around and hold it. And then I go back up through that center hole, trying to avoid poking. I'm not in my pages. Trying to avoid poking this string that's already here. You don't want to go through that string. And so then you end up back in the center here. And at this point, you know, you've got your stuff sewn in enough. You can take out your clips. Take out your clips, and then I do like to take my clips out before I tighten this string up. And the reason being is you want your pages, if they're going to move, you want them to find their home. Right now, I have my tail. This is my tail string, and this is my center string. both my tail and my needle are on the same side. You want your needle to go on the other side, the opposite side of the center string than your tail. So you want something that looks like this. Let me hold it up. You want something that looks like this. You've got your needle thread. The paper is light, it's hard to see. You want your needle on one side, your tail on the other side, the opposite side, with your center string in between them. And then here is where you give it a nice snug pull. You can take the needle off. We don't need it anymore. Give them a nice snug pull, and then you can check if you're not sure and you want to make sure that this is perfectly tight and straight. I can usually tell just by pulling whether they're straight or not, right? And then go ahead and tie it, double knot it from there. And the reason why you used wax linen thread is because it holds that knot better than if you use embroidery floss or something like that. Then these long tails I'm just going to leave until the end. And we've got our pocket here now with the gold trim on it. Pocket back here with the gold trim. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and give this gold trim its final haircut. I'm catching something. We've got little gold fibers now. You see the little gold fibers? Ooh, it's like tinsel. So then we're going to trim this side. Just making sure I trimmed it good. And then I'm going to clean that up. Tiny, tiny little tinsel. Perfection. Love it. Okay. Then from here, yes, everything needs a signature if it is higher value, especially this time of year, porch pirates being what they are. Most packages that were a good amount of money got a signature required. That's for your safety and mine, because if your mailman delivers your box and he just puts it, in your driveway and somebody drives up and takes it, on my side, it shows me it's delivered. On your side, it will show delivered. But if you don't get it, that could be a problem for both of us. So it requires a signature. I'm not trying to make you all go to the post office. If you look at your tracking email, it tells you whether you need a signature or not. If you know you need a signature, you can try to be home. You can try to have someone home to sign for it. You can also leave a notice on your door that says, USPS, I authorize you to leave signature required packages, and sign that slip and tape that to your front door. And then the package will get delivered to you. But if you do that and he leaves it and you're not home and it disappears, I'm just saying it could be a problem. So that's why signature required. I'm honestly not trying to make you guys go to the post office this time of year. I get it, but I don't know what else to do. And it's the same from UPS too. They also require signatures, because I can't just have them leaving packages of certain values, just dropping them wherever they want to at your house, and then porch pirates come and it's a mess. So for your safety and mine, we've done it that way. And it happens year round that way for me, but especially at this time of year. So everything's sewn in. We have some pockets. Let's try to find some, and as we build our journal, so right now you can see these holes. As we build our journal signature right here is going to puff out, and you're not going to see these as much. It's just also a very dark fabric that we're going against. But we have some pre-made ephemera. How you guys doing? Everybody okay out there? And it also doesn't have to be you specifically to sign for it. Any adult can sign for these packages. Any adult that lives at your house or whatever can sign. Honestly, they don't ask for ID or anything like that. Just some adult needs to sign for them. And we did have some large packages, so I just wanted to make sure everybody actually received their stuff. You already made your cover. Awesome. Covered in Amazon envelope. Yes, I love doing that too. We will have a project of that where we use, some kind of so we're going to make a true junk journal next year. And that's why I told you guys. And if you weren't here way back when I told you, I'll tell you guys now again. Start saving your junk mail. Start saving interesting packaging. Like before you go to the trash or recycling to throw something in the bin, look at it and see if it could be repurposed into something for a junk journal. Because in 2025, we're going to have a project where we make an entire journal from trash. The cover will be an Amazon packaging cover. We will reuse clothing. If we use fabric, it'll be reused or cut from clothing, something that we were going to discard because it has a tear or a hole or, a missing button or whatever the case may be. Our pages will all be recycled material. All of our ephemera will be like from junk mail, that kind of a thing. So we are going to make an entire journal that is a true junk journal. A true junk journal is made from junk, trash. That's what we're going to do in 2025. So start saving things. A lot of times when you get a new clothing item, it has a little hang tag on it. Start saving all of that kind of stuff. Anything that looks interesting that we could repurpose in a junk journal, get a bin out, throw all the stuff in the bin. As you find stuff, continue to add to the bin. And in 2025, we will do it. Most likely it will not be a kit kind of a thing, because building a kit from trash and selling trash would not be probably the best idea. So save your own materials and we will do it in 2025. Okay. I do have some pockets already made. Let's go ahead and find some places to add in these pockets. We've got these two pockets, because we're going to start gluing in pockets and we're going to make whatever pockets we need to make right here, right now. So for pockets, that might be all we have so far. Looks like it. That's all we have so far. We have 3 pockets. Not a whole lot of pockets going on, but we do have quite a few tags and whatever else going. So, good morning, Maria. Hello, Mary. Welcome. Hello. Sorry. Takes me a minute. Online signature, Kendall, thank you for saying that. Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. Kendall says you can sign for your packages at like USPS.com or something like that. It's under informed delivery. They will need a hand truck. Oh my gosh, guys, I carried all of your packages into the UPS store, the ones that went UPS. I have a rolling cart that I use for huge packages. There were many, many, many packages. One of them is 60 pounds. One package is 60 pounds for somebody. It's huge. So yeah, some of them are very large. You might need some help getting them inside. Stash of trash. That's awesome, Susan. Awesome. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's good. It was invoicing from a large time frame. And so there's always a lot of questions when that happens. Hopefully next year we do not have that happen too much. We've got some better plans. So I just need to find places for these. And then we'll make for whatever we don't have. Okay. So let's find these guys a home. Honestly, like we could do these kids. I don't want to glue on the ledger because it covers it up, but these kids need the home. They could go there. That's kind of cute there. Let's put them there because I don't want to put something here because we'd cover him up. So let's put this one here. And then quickly. Do I want to add? I don't think I do. It's the right spot, but not the right page. We can add one here. That might be nice there. I kind of like her and this part. So let's add that one there. And then we need to add some in the back. I mean, I'm going to make more, but I need to add some in the back too. Let me see her. She might be better here. I'm going to put her here. I'll put her there. And then we have this page. And I usually don't glue anything to my copy dyed pages. Any of these thin specialty pages, I usually do not glue anything on. She could also go, I definitely want her there, but something could go here. We'll have to come back and make a pocket for here. I don't want everything to be the same thing. That's an awesome place for him. But again, I don't want everything to be the same. So let's leave that for a different kind of a pocket. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect place for him. It's the perfect place for him. What's on the other side? Yeah, he's going to go there. So I put all 3 of those pockets in the front part, guys. We're going to need to make some more masterboard pockets. Let me glue those ones. Well, let's wait. I'll glue them all in at the same time. So let's get some more pockets going. We're going to need this. We're going to need the masterboard pieces that are unfinished. We have these. Remember the last time we were together, I glued some book page together. Let's go ahead and collage on those. And then let me find some masterboard pieces that are the right size for pockets. If you don't have masterboard pieces already pre-made, then you're going to want to make a masterboard. Not everything will be a masterboard pocket, but I want to find all the pieces that are masterboard size so that I can choose what focal points I want to put on them. So we've got these guys, got a couple belly bands. This guy, I think he's a journal card. That's a tag, journal card. This guy could be a pocket. This guy could be a pocket. This journal is fun for me because it is only one signature. It's only one signature and only one journal. We're not making 3 this time. We're keeping it pretty simple. All of this ephemera is for one of those Tim Holtz cover journals, the magic cover journals. We're still going to do that together. Okay. We have plenty of pocket bases from masterboards, and we have 3 more from book page. So let's, first of all, find some focal points for some of these from masterboards, and then we will do collaging and find some focal points for those guys. Let's try to find some focal points for these. The first thing I want to look at is the German scrap. It is super easy. I packed all of your German scrap this time around, so it's coming to you. These guys are all tall ways, so we're not going to use them. They're just not going to fit on a pocket. This little guy will fit on a pocket. We could tuck him on a pocket maybe. We've got some little bells we could use to embellish. I don't know how much you guys can see. Little bells. Here's another one of these Santas going the other way. We got these Santas. We could use any of these shape Santas. That will work. We'll save that one. I've got these bells already cut out for a pocket. I got some little small embellishment things. Christmas trees are too big. I mean, this little one isn't, but he's pretty small. These guys are too big. I already took a bell out of here. We could take the pine cones out maybe. We'll see. And then we've got these guys. Will they fit on a pocket? No, they will not. So they go in that pile. And then we have these things for tags. So this is our options. We cannot use any of this on pockets. It's just not the right size. We can use, let me just pick it up and put it over here. We can use these guys. And we can use these two. So we just need to find something where Santa is going to look nice on there. Like, you know, he could be way over here on the side, and then we could use a nice large label. A nice label right here. That might work. I generally like my pockets to have a centered focal point though. I just like that. And I can't really get that one on there. Maybe I can. Maybe I don't need to be so fussy with it. Let's trim off the little edges. We're trying to get our pockets all in. So I've told you guys this before. I will tell you it again. When I do a single signature journal, I like to put 6 pockets. 6 pockets, any kind of pockets you want to make. 6 of them in the front half of the signature and 6 in the back half of the signature. So you got 12 pockets total needed for a single signature journal. And my single signature journals are roughly 15 8.5 by 11 thick size pages. So if you're doing 12 pockets, generally you get like 1 pocket every, I don't know, 3 or 4 pages, something like that. When you do the German scrap, you just trim around all the little connecty bits. This one's got a little fiddly one because the Santa has a walking stick. So you got to trim around it. It's just a little fiddly. And all I have in here are these big scissors. I'm trying to get it off. There's a tiny little bit of cream colored stuff. If I just had my marker, I probably just would have colored it in. Okay. His stick is just going to be what his stick is. Let's do this. Let's get those 2 on pockets. I don't want all my pockets to be the same either, so we will have to switch it up and do something different. Let's see what he looks like. I can't pick anything up. I broke his little stick. He could go on there. He looks pretty cute on there, actually. Maybe we would cheat him over to this side and then put a label there. Let's do that. I liked it. We're doing it. I have an open glue stick somewhere. Joanne, hello. Thanks for joining, Joanne. You have been missed. People have asked about you. Yeah. Joanne's busy. Family for holidays. You know, a lot of us are. And so in the new year, we will see some faces return that we haven't seen for a little bit. And it's just because everybody gets so busy. Okay. You've got him pretty glued. And we're going to cheat him over to this side a little bit. Just a little. Keeping him down so I can do a thumb notch. Lining up his little walking stick. And gluing him down. And then we'll put a label on here in a minute. And these bells need to find a home. I don't know that these bells need to go here, but they need to go somewhere. I mean, maybe. And then we would need something tall there. I don't know. Maybe they need to go something like this, where there's not so much busyness going on behind them. I kind of like that one. Let's audition this one. I kind of like them both equally. I think they're better on that one. This is too busy. There's an all green one. Maybe we could do the all green one. I think they look best on there. Let's do it. We have a whole lot of pocket/journal card bases. Oops. Okay. If you guys need something, type it in all caps. That way I can kind of know if you're talking to me or not talking to me. If you guys need something, if you guys have a question, type it in all caps and it hopefully will get my attention. If nothing else, other people will yell at me and then that will get my attention. Okay. There's the bells. I like them on this one. This is good. I did do poinsettia fussy cuts for a digital and I have not printed them. So we will get some of those going too. But that's that one. Again, he needs a little something, but I like it. It's good. There's those two. Now, do we want to do a couple more or are we feeling good? Let's see. I have this green Santa and he might look really good on this green pocket, or maybe it's just too much green pockets. I'm not sure, but let's audition him gently on here. He's pretty cute on there. He is pretty cute on there. He's kind of cute on all of them. These ones, I need to do something different. You would have to add some book page and then add your focal point. And I think that's nice because they're a little different that way. So I definitely want to do that. Looks pretty good on that one. This one, I don't want to cover up that poinsettia. We've got a gold one. Gold is good. He also looks good on that one. I kind of like him here with a label. I'm going to do this one. And then we'll do some of these because otherwise we're getting too the same. The same. Everything has a Santa on it. Which I know it's a Christmas journal, but we need some variety. So this is the last German scrap pocket. And then we need to make some different pockets. So I always do the large corner pockets in journals, always, because they allow you to stick a nice large piece of ephemera in. And so I always stuff my pockets. If I give you a pocket, I put something in it. I mean, 99.9% of the time. So if I make really large journal cards or tags, those large corner pockets that go from corner to corner, from the top corner of a page all the way down to the bottom corner of a page, those ones are really nice because they hold a large piece of ephemera. And we're going to make some of those here after we get these kind of shaped pockets done. For the large corner pockets, I'm going to use Tim Holtz cardstock, Christmas cardstock. It's a nice weight and it will go with our theme. So we're going to do that. And see how I have, so for composition, a lot of you guys ask me questions regarding composition. See how I have this straight line of gold right here? I have a straight line of gold paper right there. I'm going to position my Santa to where he kind of breaks up. I have some glue hanging on here. He kind of breaks up. That's stuck to me. He kind of breaks up that straight line. So straight line right there. And I'm going to position my Santa in the center generally, leaving enough room for a thumb notch, but covering up that straight line. So I no longer have that rough straight line edge there. It's just too hard looking when you have a lot of straight edges like that. So for composition, I've put him kind of covering that straight edge. And then you can see with your eye, usually if you look at a piece, you see how there's just too much open space right here. That's where I'm going to put my label. So a lot of people ask me about, like composition, how do you do certain things, whatever. How do you lay them out? That's kind of how I do it. I think we're good with the Santas and all of that kind of stuff. There are these right here that I've been looking at. These big things of holly. And I just want to see them really quickly. And then we'll go from here. These ones are a little fiddly because you got to cut around the holly leaves. Or use your Tombow marker. All of your gifts, your prizes, your whatever are all in your packages. I have found every single thing for every single person. They are all packed in your packages. And sometimes you'll see a gift on your invoice and it will have a price to it, but then underneath it will be discounted to be free. For accounting, there's different things I have to do to show that I gave away an item for free. And so if you ever see where your gift has a price, it'll always say gift on your invoice. And then if you see it has a price attached, right underneath on the, bottom part of your invoice where your total is, it will show you a section that's for discounts. And it will show that I have discounted the price of the gift to 0. That way you're not paying for your gift, but I can account for it for tax purposes. It's just a whole lot of back office things, but so there's this. And again, if we put book page back there, that might be kind of fun. It might be. It also is just, this is a perfect little pocket for it. It's just so simple and open. So we're going to have to do some book page collaging on these guys, which I'm happy to do. Let's do that next. But let's get this guy on, and then I swear I'm done with this. The little hollies were just staring at me off to the side over here, and I wanted to use them. And if we feel like this is just too much of the same pocket, we don't have to use them all. I can save. So I did the same thing, straight edge, covered it up, moved it down enough so I can do a thumb notch. This could have went sideways, or it could go straight just like this. I'm going to kind of tilt it crooked so it's not perfectly straight. This pocket has letterpress paper on it. The letterpress paper feels amazing. So that's that guy. And then we can do a little label over here where this straight edge is. So that's those. Moving on. These guys. They need some German book page on them. Both of those do. Probably this guy too. I'm going to put him to the side. We're just going to do these two with German book page. So I need to find the German book. Well, I already have some pages out, so that was convenient. The German book. Issues out there on Facebook? Oh no. So I just want some kind of old book page. I need a landing place. My ephemera needs some place because when I put a piece of ephemera on here, every time I do, it just blends in. It just blends into that background because the background is very busy. You could do this Santa there. He's honestly not terrible there, but I'm trying to make pockets. So to make your focal point stand out, he's not even terrible on there. We might have to do that with him on one of these for a journal card. But to make your focal point a landing place, it needs some place for your eye to rest. You're going to need to put something more neutral in the background and then put your focal point on top of that. And so when we did this one, this is just a piece of the Florentine paper glued to coffee dyed cardstock. Now for pockets, you don't need to use coffee dyed cardstock, but we just did a masterboard and that's what I had. So we did it. But I'm just going to put some type of German book page on some of these to make a landing place. I really liked that Santa on both of those. So now I'm thinking I might just cover up these birds with some of this German. Even this would just be a fine pocket by itself. If you just did a thumbhole notch, which I'm just going to do, even this would be fine as a pocket all by itself. So if you center your little hole, roughly a little thumb notch, this could have been a pocket all by itself and it wouldn't really need much other decoration. Maybe you add like a little lace or a little washi tape or something like that. That's honestly a really cute pocket. So we might just leave that one. This one here, you could do the same and just leave it. You could do the same on all of these. Let me do this one. And then we'll go ahead and put book page on it. These little things, when you cut it this way, they always fling back at you. So be prepared to catch it. Okay. So we have these. Let me ink around these two and just leave them as they are. And let's play with this guy. Do I want to save him for a journal card? No, I'm going to make him the pocket. I don't want to cover this up. I love this. This is the perfect arch for like a little focal point right here. I'm really struggling. I'm going to put book page down at the bottom. I have to decide what part. It's like Sophie's Choice. What part do I want to cover up? So I just tore a little bit of book page. I'm going to cover up. My goal here is to cover up this little part of a postcard because it's just a little too busy right there. So if I move this up and tear my little angle a little differently, I can save the points, the holly part that I like, and I'm still covering everything up for the most part. It's going to have to come up right there. The book page is a little small. You can see I have this white border. I'm going to try to get rid of that white border because I don't enjoy it. I just don't like having the white border part on my page. And this rag paper tears fairly well. I just don't like to have the little points on it. So I tore those off. So now we've got no white part on there. And I can position it exactly where I want it. That's a nice landing place for our focal point. Clean up that mess. Let's glue that on. It's hard because when you find something that you specifically want to save, you have to work around it. And that does create a different challenge than if you were just like gluing the book page to something that you didn't care about what was underneath of it, you know? But because I really like the holly there, I've positioned this to give us a landing place. The only thing I'm worried about here is that my lines of text are straight. So now we have a nice little landing place for us to put something else. It's not quite as busy. Truthfully, if I had a bigger text block on my book page, it would have been better, but we'll work with that. We just need to find a focal point now for this guy. And I am wondering, I have to see this. And then we're going to do some with Italian ladies on them. So the next things we make will be decorated with ladies. We're moving away from German scrap into ladies. If you do not have German scrap, any type of Christmas fussy cut will work right here. So I'm wondering if we could get those on there. They kind of blend in with the holly, but I also kind of like it. I think I need something red right there. Let's save that, and we'll save this for a different project. I mean, I almost could get, I almost could get them right there to decorate the little birdies. Let's do it. They're going to go with the birds. And then that's that pocket. And you'll see when I put them on there, they blend in a lot. You could put book page underneath of them. I'm not going to worry about the book page for this pocket. So see, if you look at this pocket, there's just a natural open space up here. You've got, something covering here. You've got something covering here. You got a little something poking down here, but there's just a natural open space right here. So that's why I was thinking we could put our pine cones there. And yeah, it's busy and yeah, they blend in, but it's good. It's okay. When you look at it up close, you can see them. It's okay. So we're going to do that there. So when you look at stuff and you're trying to decorate, just look for open space. And you don't have to cover every open space. But on this pocket, it was just going to be a plain pocket. There was literally nothing on there. So I'm just going to position these pine cones where I want them. Keeping them pretty high. And there they are.
So now my pine cones are on there. Oops, camera, come on. There we go. There's my pine cones. And maybe we'll add a little tiny label or something up in this area because now we've got stuff everywhere, but I can see maybe a little label right here coming in from the side. So that guy can go in that pile. This guy I might play with, and let's play with this guy. Let's find the book of, let me clean this up, and let's find the French fashion book. And when your page gets, like, I have been using this one a lot. When it gets too much, I'm just going to use the backside. Just like that. Okay. French fashion ladies. Where are my French fashion ladies? You could use Tim Holtz, people. Here's some Tim Holtz papers. Last year's and this year's paper for the corner pockets. We'll do those. I was gonna show you this. So this is something special that I made. Okay. This is it's a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock that I have put the letterpress Italian Florentine paper on one side, and I've put this paper on the front side. And this is going to be a journal cover. This is a tall, skinny kind of document style journal cover. So again, what I did is I took a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. I glued the entire front side of the cardstock and I glued this paper to it. This is the front cover of my journal. And then on the inside cover of my journal, I glued a piece of letterpress paper. So if you have a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, letterpress paper, and this paper, this is a extremely thick, durable cover. And then I'm going to fold it in half. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to fold it in half. See, it's so thick it won't do it. I'm going to fold it in half this way at 6 inches. And I'm going to have a tall document style journal cover. And so this one I'll make for next year, but I've prepped it. I was going to make it on camera with you guys, but I'm going to save it for next year. But we have this paper. Most of us do. And most of us have something like this because you've got it. So all I'm going to do is score at 6 inches and fold. And that's going to be my tall document journal cover. It made a beautiful journal cover. Beautiful and simple, easy to do. And then we'll fill it with tall documents, right? So next year, I had prepped it because we were going to do it. And then we ran out of time. By we, I mean me. Oh, this is my French fashion ladies. Okay. Let's look at the French fashion ladies. We have a couple of them cut out already down here. I'm going to put these guys up here. So for the pocket decorating for these, pocket decorating, we need to find things that will fit on pockets. So if you have the heads, some of the French fashion magazines have heads that are like this, but smaller. They look nice on pockets. You could totally put like the bonnets on pockets or the clothes on pockets. Sorry, let me scoot this up. Or the clothes on pockets. You can put whatever you want to put on your pocket. She's nice. She might be just a little bit too tall, too big. But see these half dolls, you could just cut them at their waist and then put them on. And that might be kind of nice. I might use this one right here for that. There's nothing on the back. Honestly, she needs used for something. So I'm going to cut around this beautiful lacework pattern right down here. We'll save that. And I'm just going to roughly cut her out. If you got a Christmas journal kit, you got a French fashion magazine, a whole issue. This one is stuck in the middle, making it a bit more challenging. I don't want to cut off any fingers in case I have to use those later. She's going to lose an arm. And there we go. So there's her. Let's see what he will look like if I just use her head. I like it. So we're going to do this. I know that we're not going to need her off of after her waist. So we've trimmed her there. And we're just going to kind of trim around her dress because I don't know if I'm going to want it or not want it. And then her arm. How you guys doing out there? Who's crafting along with me today? Usually we have some people crafting and some people hanging out. Who's crafting along with me today? You don't have to be making what I'm making. You can be making something totally different. The craft with me's are totally, you can make whatever you want to make. Some people are working on the same journal, but they're making their journal different than I'm making it. That's, again, encouraged. Love that. And I also love it when you guys share your work in the Facebook group. And if you make pockets today with me, you can post them for your challenge entries or the Facebook group challenge. And now I need to decide, I don't think I do. She has another arm, but I don't think I care for it. So I've trimmed her like that. And now I can see I don't need any of this stuff down here at the bottom. Doesn't matter. She's fine on there. We'll throw that in the trash. I don't think there's anything here. Like you could save that and use it on a masterboard, but maybe the backside. Diana B's working on Christmas cards. Oh my gosh. I have got to get those done this weekend. Day 11, Rhea. Awesome. Faith Ann's working along. Awesome. Rhea's crafting. Jerry's crafting. Kendall hasn't cut a magazine. If you don't want to cut the original, just Xerox it. Take it somewhere and Xerox it if your printer doesn't have a scanning bed and printer kind of thing. But you can just take it to any like FedEx, Kinko's location and they'll copy it for you. Or Staples or anything like that. Most of them, all of them have some fashion. Some of them have less than others. And the ones that I save, like if you notice this one, the ones that I saved for me to use, he had a bunch of glue or whatever right there. And he's also taped right here where he was torn and somebody taped him together. So the ones that I save for myself to use are like the torn up ones, the ones that are damaged in some manner. Like this one again has kind of grody stuff right there. But I save the ones that have some type of damage to them, like he's taped in the center also. I mean, the taping is not huge, but he just kind of looked a little too, I don't know, too grungy. This is why right here. So I save the ones that are kind of damaged in some way for myself to craft with. And then you guys get the ones that are at least intact and better. Okay, let's use this on here and see if we want anything else. She's going to be beautiful on there. And I love the way the holly curves around. It was worth saving, guys. It was totally worth saving. I will say when you glue on these ladies from your magazine, if you're using the originals, so I left my glue stick open that entire time that we were chatting and that I was cutting her out and finding her and whatever. And see, this is what happens. If your glue stick is too dry, it will pull it. I don't need that piece. It was at the bottom anyway, but I'm just saying. You got to be careful. Don't leave your glue stick open too long and then try to use your original stuff on here. So I'm just positioning her. I want her to be straight on there and in the right place. Just whatever looks good to your eye. And then once she's on there, you kind of just rub her. There we go. She's there. Let's trim off the bottom so we can actually see it. It was totally worth fussing and saving that holly though. It was perfect for her. Just to go up and around her like that. And then because we have this straight line here, I will probably put something right in this area. So there's that one. Let me stick these somewhere. They're gluey. All right. That one goes over there. We have this guy to play with. Do we want to stick something. Yeah, and it's torn right here. Do we want to stick something on here? Is there something that we would like to stick on there? I mean, I could stick another lady head on there. This is kind of interesting. It's showing the front of her and the back of her. And I think these two would be nice to do like a folding journal card where you open it up and you've got her just like this on the inside. I might put her on the front. I don't know. I guess it would. I might switch them and put her over here and the back side over here. It just naturally, I think the front needs to go on this side and the back needs to go on that side. But I think cutting her out and making something where we can see both sides of her is a good way to use this one. Because otherwise you could use this one, but you might struggle to use this part because it's just like a backside of a woman, you know? So I think making a folding journal card for those two is a good plan. And there really isn't anything else in this one. All of these ones are kind of full ladies. And so we'll make some really nice big tags and put some of these ladies on. The little kids can go on tags as well. But there isn't really anything else in those ones. Let me see if I have anything else in here. I think I have some printed ladies. And I have some Tim Holtz ephemera. We could just use that. That's nice and easy. And I've got labels in here. All of my stuff is too big. And just collagey bits and music. Some flowers, which we already have poinsettias on there. Okay. So let's find something in here. The Tim Holtz stuff, I'm not, trying to go industrial or whatever. But there are a lot of like poinsettias and other kinds of ephemera in here. And so normally by now I would have this dumped into a bin so that I could sort through it nicely. But for now, we're just going to do it right here on the desk. So we're trying to find something to go on to here. I mean, anything, honestly, would be fine on there. These go the other direction. It's already got poinsettias on it, so I don't want to put other poinsettias on it. But if you put some book page, you might be able to get away with that. That's too small. There's a nice frame in there. This pack is from 2024. So if you're looking for this pack, it's from 2024. This is actually kind of nice on here because it basically is what the paper is. It's a little postcard. So see, these were all little postcards anyway. That's actually kind of nice on there. I think I will just back it with something else. So let's do that on that one. I don't want to sort through the whole thing, but there are other little bits. So I can find something that goes up and down. But there are other little bits that are cute. Like I wouldn't use this on this pocket. But there are other little bits that would be cute to decorate with too. So let me kind of just shove that to the side and we will look at it more in the future. But for this one, maybe just lace underneath of it. That's what I'm thinking. It's just a nice piece of cream lace. So let me get the lace and we'll do that. Let me put this one somewhere. The lace is right here. It's really nice to have a wall of lace that you can just walk over and snip a piece off of. I mean, it really has been so nice. So I'm just going to back this and I'm going to trim around this more, but I'm just going to back this little postcard with some lace on this bucket. So obviously my lace needs to be trimmed down. I don't really care about it being straight. It would be better if it would be a little more jagged. So I'm just going to trim it. So we've got a couple little pieces we could use as little snippets or ties or whatever. And then around the edge, you guys have seen me do this before, is I just try to pull it and fray it a little bit, make it a little less perfectly cut straight. If you like straight, do straight. But for me, just a little bit. I mean, you're not going to get much here because this kind of lace, it's not going to fall apart on you, but just a little bit, just to make it look a little more worn. because when you cut it perfectly straight, it just makes it look so brand new, you know? And so if you have like your pokey tool, which mine is over there, you could poke out some of these threads, but I've just roughed it up a little bit. Just roughed it up a little bit. Can you guys see there's little fraying edges now? It's just less square, less perfectly square. There's little fray bits. And then I can put my little postcard on there and then put it on there. That's what we're going to do. And then down here in this corner, we'll probably put something else. But for this lace, I am going to glue stick it. I know people would probably use Fabri-Tac, but I'm going to glue stick it. And I have loved the Uhu glue stick with fabric. I have loved it. So we're going to glue it. Again, I don't want all the edges stuck down, so I'm really focusing on just sticking in the middle. And then to go over top of this, you know, yes, you could use Uhu again, but what I'm going to do, first of all, we have another little project. I need to refill this guy. This guy has needed refilled for a little while. So let's let that dry for a second. Let's refill this guy. If you guys have not filled, this is an oxide. If you guys have not filled an oxide, they don't come in the glass bottles. They come in plastic bottles. They have a shaker ball. You do have to shake them up quite a bit because there's sediment that sits in the bottom. So you just want to make sure that that sediment is mixed, and you can see it's not really. See how there's different color? So with oxides, you have to shake and shake well. This pad has been dry for so long. We just got to do it. So let's get it done quick. And then we're going to ink around this little postcard and I'm going to glue it on there. Goodness. And so when you ink your pad, it's just best to start and make little lines. You can go up and, you can go up and down. Just make little lines like this and try to cover the whole surface that way. And then turn it around this way and go back like this. Making sure you get your corners. And somebody might say, ooh, that is too much. No, it is not. Trust me. It all goes in there. So I have covered basically the entire surface. Remember, this pad was very dry. So and see how it seeps in pretty fast. Like it's already going in. Just make sure if it goes in that you go over it again and keep going over it until you feel like you've got enough on there. I can judge by how fast it soaks in, how fast the little felt pad, the ink pad, absorbs this ink. Tells me how quickly, you know, how much I need to put on. So if it goes in super, super quick, then that means I need to put more there. Because that means it doesn't have enough. It is thirsty. And so I am kind of heavily doing it because I don't want to have to do this every day, but you do you. I'll get this in there. And some of this is sitting right there on the middle, and that is also because I have used old blending tools. I think we're getting pretty good here. This corner is pretty dry. But when you do the back and forth grid, it leaves you a nice visual of what needs more ink. So right now we look like this. I can see this edge. I think we're pretty good there. It also is kind of a weight thing. So there's that. Then from there, a little bit of maintenance. See how chewed up he is? He's terribly chewed up. It's time for him to go bye-byes. And it's time for a new one. Now, because we just re-inked this guy, it would have been better to re-ink him like yesterday so he could sit overnight. But because we just re-inked him, he's going to be extra juicy. You know that going in. So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And I'm just going to go over this with him and pick up what I need to pick up. And it's also cleaning off any little debris that was left from that old ink blending tool. And so we've got enough ink there for certain. He's good. He's all covered. There's no liquid on there anymore. It's all in. So that was some maintenance. Now this is going to be, it's basically fresh ink. So it's going to be dark. You just use a gentle hand. Honestly, right now it's looking a little bit like gold edging. I love it. I love it. So that gave it a nice edge. And then we're going to set him over there. Hopefully he's not going to get on anything. And I'm going to use art glitter now because I've already got lace down there. Art glitter is just a stronger hold. I could use glue stick, but I would worry that the glue stick wouldn't be enough over the lace because the lace is also held on by glue stick. So I'm just going to use some art glitter. A little heavy because I'm going over lace. And put him down. Now you could stick another layer underneath here. You didn't just have to do the one layer of lace. You could have done multiple layers of lace. It's sliding everywhere. He's sliding everywhere. So you could have added some other lace or fabric or something else back there. Fabric would be good. Let me scroll down. What rabbit hole? Wait. No, Grace is abound. You're still here. I believe Christine, did you email me about a book? Or is this a different Christine that emailed me about a book? Because I thought you emailed me about a book and I was waiting for an answer from you there. If that was you and you emailed me about a book, I sent you some pictures and I'm just waiting for your answer. And then you'll be packed and shipped, but I need to know what book you want. If it wasn't you, then I have you confused with a different Christine. So let me know. I'm pretty sure it's you though. But I also could be wrong. Okay, so I held it for a good long while because it was over lace. And this is what we ended up with. It's just a cute little pocket. Very cute and easy. We just put some Tim Holtz things and some lace on there. Okay. I have it right here, Rhea. I need to know how much you want. And so send me a message in Messenger and tell me how much you want. Because if you tell me now, I will probably not remember. I just don't know how much you want. Okay. Kendall's dad rabbit hole. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wondering, I'm not saying it, but wandering aimlessly. I get it now. Wandering. I was cutting originals. You can cut originals. There's no problem cutting originals. The ones I'm cutting are damaged and they're not, they're not priceless. Wondering. You did reply. Okay. Okay. I will look for your email because I didn't see it as of yesterday. So I will look for it again. Or if you want to send it to me again, you can do that too. But I looked yesterday and didn't see it. Thank you, Rhea. Okay. Anybody else who needs anything, holler it out in, you don't care for her. You're laughing at me. I don't care for her other arm. Yeah. Sometimes you have to be ruthless and cut. You just do. And you get over it. Okay. So we made her into a pocket. Let me thumb hole notch the ones that are not notched yet. Let's ink around them, add some labels, and let's go ahead and glue what we have. Well, we'll save some for the corner pockets. We're going to make corner pockets next. If you want to make corner pockets with me, grab some kind of Christmas cardstock. some kind of Christmas cardstock or whatever patterned cardstock you want to use. We're going to need a sheet of cardstock that is at least the size of your journal page. At least the size of your journal page. Kind of feel like we're a little too, there we go. And I am going to need a trimmer for the next project, so I will begrudgingly have to go across the hall and get a trimmer. Because we cannot do corner pockets without a trimmer. I mean, we could, but it would probably be disastrous. You guys don't want me to do that. So, I'll walk across the hall and grab a trimmer. I have to pick up all these little things off of me. One is down my shirt. This guy wanted to get in my sweatshirt. All right. So this is what we did. We made lots and lots of these pockets. I don't know if they're all going in this journal. For sure the lady is, but oh, this guy's upside down. We made lots and lots of quick little pockets, quick and easy little pockets. They're not final yet. Obviously, we need some labels and further embellishing. That's why I left this over here. I don't know if we want to fuss with that right now, but let's see what we got quick. This is the labels section. I believe there's other labels in here. I'm not positive, but I thought there were other labels in this file. Okay, quickly, as I have them laid out here, I thought I printed different kind of labels. Hold on one second. Maybe I did print them and they're in this pile. I don't know. I have lots of Victorian ladies in color, the digitals to cut up. No, I didn't print other labels. Interesting. Well, let's see what we have here. I've got this cute little green one. I think he can go up there with green Santa. So let's cut him quickly. And we will get a couple of these finished, or all of them finished. However, I want to do the corner pockets, and I don't know what else we have time for, but I want my 12 pockets in this journal today. I don't have time to not have 12 pockets in this journal today. So this one says A Christmas Carol, and I think he's cute up there with green, but we might need red on that one. Let me see. Maybe he's better down here. That one's going to be tough. This one is finished, other than a little embellishment right there. A Christmas Carol is good for this one too. It's good on this one. This one just needs something up here. I don't know. That can go on one of them. That was really helpful. Best wishes for Christmas. These are Vintage Studio 717 labels. I have used them every year that I've done Christmas journals, which I don't know, since she came out 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. 3? I don't know how long, but these labels have been out for a little while and I love them. I don't know if she still has them. Sometimes digital artists retire their stuff. So sometimes I will use things that I've had for so long that they are retired. That one could go there after it was inked, although I am not certain on it, but it could go there after it's inked. We need a little one. This one says Christmas greetings. I don't know. Maybe this plain one. I'm looking for something for right here with the birds. And I don't want everything to be the same either. So I might do Tim Holtz ephemera on this one. And I might do Tim Holtz ephemera on that one. It just, they don't look cohesive. So I need some larger size labels. Like, I think this is just too small. Yep, too small. Okay, here's some larger size ones. Obviously, these 3 are too big. Let's use the Santa Claus out of this one. There's a Santa Claus and a Christmas Carol here. Santa Claus Go with Santa Claus. Songs from a modern Santa Claus. That's what that label says. So it took me forever to read it. We've got A Christmas Carol. Maybe, just maybe. And then I think we'll have to do Tim Holtz Ephemera on the rest. Stay over there. I've got a mess going on over here. Oh, Christine, blessings to you too. Merry Christmas. I'm sure we'll talk again. Don't forget, I will be here crafting with you guys the whole entire time. Just no live sales on Tuesdays. But crafting, yes. We might be crafting on Tuesday. Oh, guys, I have exciting news to tell you. Oh my gosh. It's not my exciting news, but kind of. So my daughter got engaged. My daughter got engaged last night. Yes, she did. So I'm going to be gaining another son, and my daughter is going to be getting married. I'm super happy for them. Super happy for them. So that was exciting. Last night, I didn't do Craft With Me. As most of you guys know, invoices were rolling out until midnight last night, till 12:30 to be exact. I needed to get everything invoiced so that you had an opportunity to pay today before the mail came for their pickup, because I'm trying to get all your stuff to you guys for Christmas. And it is always first priority to get orders shipped. And I ship when I invoice. So it was always first priority to get orders shipped before we do Craft With Me. As much as I love Craft With Me, it's, you're getting your orders out the door, especially when we're trying to beat Christmas, is first priority. So that is why I moved Craft With Me to this morning. I do need to leave here in about 40 minutes for my hair appointment. So I'm going to be real quick and get these on here, and we're going to do some corner pockets. Actually, this little one that says Best Christmas Wishes, can we get this up here at the top of this one? Maybe. I don't know if I love it, but it definitely could go there. I'm really trying to get it onto this one, but it just doesn't look right. It could go right here. I kind of like it right there. And this says all good wishes for Christmas. It's a whole lot of best wishes for Christmas. Let me fuss with these pockets, and then we're going to cut our corner pockets. I promise we're cutting corner pockets. It could go on this one too. This one can go somewhere. I'm not leaving it out. We're definitely using it. Okay, what else do we have? I've got a December 25th. I mean, this is good for anywhere. I kind of like it right here though. Let me dig in here and see what else we can find for little ephemera bits. This would have been awesome with the bells, but it's too big. I can't get it on there. But it would have been awesome. Too big. He's got all these little things in here. This one says peppermint drops. You could get peppermint drops down here with the Santa. The reason why I'm really liking these is I would need to ink over all of these. These are too bright for me. Too bright white for me. And I'm not saying I'm not going to use them, but I am saying the Tim Holtz stuff is just, it's kind of fitting. It's the right shade. It's the right color. Here's a nice long label. Didn't we need a long label at some point? I don't know. Maybe. Here's a little round December 25th. This one might go right here. So dig through whatever Christmas ephemera you have. These are just here and they're cut out and they're easy. And so I am looking for them. I am trying to stay with, a very Victorian theme, and it would have been better if they would have been French. but they're not. And until Tim Holtz makes ephemera packs in French, we have English. I don't know if he ever will make them in French, but maybe in France they are in French. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. There's little red stamps. So we definitely could come back through and add some stamps to things. I don't know. We'll maybe use those somewhere. What else is in here? I got to get corner pockets made and I'm running out of time. Okay. There's even little pieces of this. It's like torn washi tape. And that is exactly like if I had my Christmas stuff down out of the closet, I have torn washi tape. And it is exactly the kind of thing that we were needing to just, if this wasn't here, to just come down from the top of a pocket and go on something, you know, just come down from the top. So he has awesome little thingies in here. Christmas greetings would have been great for something. I don't know where. It looks nice right there. Too much fun in these little packs, guys. Too much fun. Okay, I have to quit playing in there. Sorry, my label printer is in the way. It's actually using a little shelf right now. For this mess, I'm literally just going to do this to it. I will play with all of that pile pretty soon. But for now, we need to make some corner pockets quick. I literally have to walk out the door and very soon. Very, very soon. Kind of forgot about that for a little bit. Corner pockets, all I want is some cardstock that is at least the size of my journal page. So the Tim Holtz papers, they are big enough to make the corner pocket out of. If you have a 12 by 12, that will be big enough too. This is a beautiful piece. I'm just looking for some background pattern. I don't really want, I'm not going for plaid. I'm not opposed to it necessarily, but again, not necessarily going for it either. The music might be kind of cool. Depends on what we're going to put on our corner pocket. Just find some kind of pattern paper that you want to use. We're going to do a corner pocket that's going to go from side to side. Edge to edge. So all of these little prints like this, they're good. Maybe that one. We'll use one of those. I don't know which one. This one is good too. But there's a lot in these packs. Ooh, this one is also good. There's too many choices. Let me grab my cutter quick so we can get this done. Okay, cutter. You need a cutter that will be able to cut at least 8.5 inches because that's the size of your page. So here's what we're doing. Find some page that you would like to add a corner pocket to. This one, you could add it back here in the back. Like this one, you might be able to add a corner pocket. Just find some page that you want to add a corner pocket to. This one is a good one to add a corner pocket right here. So let's pretend that we were going to play with this page and make it a corner pocket. It's also writing space. It's also a good place to put a pocket. But what we're doing is we're cutting our piece of cardstock to go from this corner up here at the top, and we're going to slant our pocket all the way across to the bottom corner down here. The way that we accomplish that is we find a piece of paper that we want to play with. I'm going to choose this one. The very first thing that we do, because we know our pages are 8.5 by 11, because that's the size of the copy paper I printed my digitals on. the very first thing we need to do is cut our paper down to 8.5 inches. If his paper might be 6 by 8, I believe. So let's check that. Where is my 0? Here's my 0. So they're 10 inches. Okay. So we need to cut it to 8.5 inches. Roughly there. We have this fun little piece to play with later. Awesome little strip. So we have an 8.5 inch piece. And now we need to cut it from corner to corner. So I'm lining up one corner into the groove where my cutter is. And if you put your finger there and hold that, then twist this bottom one. So I took the piece of paper, I cut it to 8.5 inches tall. And then we're going to have to cut a little bit off. Yes, we are. 8.5 by 5. Sorry. 8.5 inches tall. And you want your pocket to be, I'm going to do 5. Because we have 5.5 technically, but I'm going to do 5. And I'm going to trim off that little side. Sorry. Now we have the right piece. 8.5 by 5. Then put your top corner in your little cutting groove. Hold it with your finger. I'm just pressing down with my finger. Spin your bottom till this corner down here is lined up into your cutting groove. Once that's lined up in your cutting groove, the corner is exactly in the channel. The corner is exactly in the channel. It moved. I will line it back up again. It's okay if it's slightly off, but you really do want to aim for right in the corner. And this gives you 2 corner pockets. Okay. So from one 8.5 by 5 inch piece, you get 2 corner pockets. That was a 5 inch one. I'm going to do one at 5.5. So there's that one with scraps. And then let's choose. Let's choose this one. I'm worried this might be like too dark. I don't know. Let's choose this one. And so for this one, the first thing we're going to do is make it 8.5. And now I'm going to do this one at 5.5. So from here, I want to go to 5.5. And then we got a little tiny strip. And then same thing, put your top in the groove, put your bottom in the groove. Almost. Cut. And there we go. This is the size I normally do, 8.5 by 5.5. We also have a skinny one, which is by 5. There's places for both of these. So we have 4 corner pockets. And because this cardstock is double-sided, you can have one in the, so in the journal, you normally wouldn't have 2 pockets that are exactly the same. But because this cardstock is double-sided, you now have matching pockets that are different patterns. So we could do that. Or if I was doing 2 different journals, I would put them in there. So there's 2 that way. And then on the back of this one, we've got dots, which I love. And so to decorate these quick, where can this cutter go? To decorate these, obviously I'm going to put my tall French ladies on there. I don't know which way this one's going yet. Probably that way, but we'll see. Yeah, I guess like that. So let's get our ladies out of this magazine quickly. Quickly. The horror of cutting up the original. Oh, that was funny. Oh my gosh. We have an avalanche of stuff. No avalanches of stuff right now. I don't have time for it. Ladies, we need to find ladies that will go here. You can use flowers. Tall flowers are also nice for on these tall pockets. This is a place where you could add some height, right? So I've got her. That's tall. And yes, I'm kind of being a little rough with my cutting because we're going to cut them all out anyway. And then right here, I don't want to cut into this box. When they're in a box like this, sometimes I put the entire box onto a tag. Does that make sense? With the border. Okay, I have two, or technically the front and back side of ladies. I'm not sure. But let's cut this lady out and put her somewhere and her somewhere. I'm going to work with her first. We might only get one done, and I need to be quick with my fussy cutting. Luckily, these newspaper ladies are very forgiving. I don't want to cut off whatever fabric this is back here. And if they don't fit, you can trim off their dress. I have often trimmed their dresses because they have such large bustles on them. And I do need to read chat. I don't mean to be ignoring you guys. If you guys needed something, holler at me now, because I'll be cutting off this video in about 10-15 minutes. Roughly. We'll see. Bye, Kristen. Where's Kristen? I didn't see a Kristen. We have a Christine. I don't know. Maybe we had a Kristen that I didn't see. Okay. Fussy cutting again. The mail hasn't picked up yet, so I will either take it or my son will get them when they come. We'll see if they come. If they don't come, then I'll take it when I get home. I want them to go today. We still have plenty of time. The post office says Monday is the cutoff for ground service. And most of your packages, except for tiny, small ones, went priority and UPS so that they would get here in time for Christmas. At least they're estimated to get here in time for Christmas. The size of her waist is ridiculously small. I want to cut out this little fiddly bit, but it's fiddly. There's space in between her waist and her arm. I have to cut it blind because I cannot see it. That's her. So when we put her on, we're going to squish her over to the side. We don't want her cut off, and we will add something else there. So let's just focus on one and hopefully get that one accomplished before I leave. Okay. Do we like her on that one? Do we like her on this one? I really love her on this. It's like a green sack towel. A very fibery, greeny towel. And then they are having delays. They do often have delays at this time of year. This one is beautiful, but she kind of blends in a lot. So let's choose this one, I believe. Let's work with this one. I like the grain sack one too. I think I do like the grain sack one. Let's work with the grain sack one. It doesn't matter which one you work with, but let's work with the grain sack one. So I want something behind her, and I want a paper doily. I do not know if I have one in here, but I want a paper doily. Please, 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 please have a paper doily in here. I do not have a paper doily in here. I do have lots of Florentine paper, which also could be fun back there. I have some music page, which could be fun back there. I have some book page, which could be fun. Lots of things which could be fun, but no paper doily. I guess we're going to have to put Florentine paper back there. I still think I want a paper doily, but this is life, right? This is life. We have what we have, and we don't get to throw a fit about it. So, what if we put some of this paper? What if we put some of this paper back there? So this is going for the other side of pocket. Let's try tearing it at the right angle. I think that would be helpful. So if we're going to go this way, I'm going to have to tear it. I'm going to have to tear it like that. Can't pick her up. I just want some Florentine paper peeking out of somewhere. I just need to find where it's going to look happy. Struggling just a bit. I kind of like it with just the stripes at the bottom. Okay. We might be doing just a little tiny bit. Might be doing just a little tiny bit to ground her. She can't just be floating there. Okay, that's better. I like that. Still want my paper doily though. And I know where one is. Got it. Not exactly the one I was hoping for, but it'll work. And then I need some book page. And we're going to get this one done. We are getting this one done. We are. Oh my gosh. Doilies, work with me here. So I'm going to need a piece of paper doily. Oh my goodness. A piece of paper doily. I really like the paper doily back there. That was a very good choice. Okay. Love it. Coming along nicely. I want her head to work with me here. It kind of looks like gears behind her. I love it. I just need a little label or something here. Let's glue this down. Where's my glue paper? There's my glue paper. First thing we're going to need to glue down is this strip down there at the bottom. I'm not going to ink it. We're just going to glue it. Ah! I'm getting due dates. Oh my gosh. Stop sticking to me. Rhea, I'm trying to read your comment. I'm getting due dates for packages. I'm getting due dates and yet packages aren't coming for past the due date. I know that the post office is having some struggles because my packages that I have ordered have also been showing that they're like expected on a certain day, and then they don't show up for well past that day too. So I don't know if they just don't have enough help for this time of year or what the case may be, but I am also experiencing some of that. Okay, next we need to glue for our doily, and so we're just going to kind of put it where it was, and we're going to glue that general area. The glue stick dries clear, and you can rub off the excess in most cases. I don't have my glue page down here, but we're just putting a lot of glue for that doily. And then pop that doily on roughly where we think it was. Hopefully that's where it is. It was over just a tad bit more. And so we need a little more glue out here. Perfect. I love it. Okay, get your doily down there. Normally I would be doing that with a baby wipe. And that also allows you to kind of wipe up some of the extra glue. You don't really need to worry about it. It doesn't show. And everybody knows junk journals are made with glue. Okay, for the lady, she needs glued. Hopefully this is a non-sticky spot. I'm going to have to be careful with her. I know at the end, every year before this year, so I can't speak for how this year is going to go, but at the end with USPS, and I believe with all the carriers, they do try to get everything that is in their system delivered. I know UPS always empties their entire system before Christmas. So they will have their drivers stay out until there is nothing left to deliver. So right now I'm just making sure that she is in fact on the pocket. Her head isn't, you know, sticking out too much. That kind of a thing. And sticking her down. And that's her so far. We need to do a little bit of trimming so that we can totally see what we've got. I have some that's hanging over the edge down here at the bottom. I've got some hanging over the edge here. And some hanging over the edge here. So I'm going to do the rest of my corner pockets very similar to this. They all won't have ladies on them, but a lot of the stuff is repetitive. Stop sticking to me. We've got that. We need a little something here, probably something with color. And this is how we're looking in our journal. I don't want to lay my journal into glue, but let's just find a place where this could go. I think we were looking at here. I don't know if I would stick it there. It's not ideal color combination, but on some page somewhere that we liked it, it's kind of plain. It really, that background with the towel, like this is a good page for it because there's a whole lot going on back here. So I could go here. I kind of like the way that this strip plays off of this strip, and it just needs a little decoration here. Something Christmassy, something with color, just something in this area. Let's keep looking for page options. I know I'm eating up my time, but here's also another good one if you wanted to cover that part up. I don't know that I do. That's not a terrible one. We cover up the pretty decoration on that page, but you just got to keep looking until you find the right page for it. We're putting a pocket there already. This one's not bad. That one might be our best option so far. And just a little simple decoration here. Something sweet. Maybe even the German scrap that's just a flower, because we have these pretty pastel-y flowers up here. So lots of options for that. I will get pockets. Hopefully I will have time to work on this and get some pockets finished up and put in here. I didn't obviously get as far as I wanted. I pretty much never do. But we made a corner pocket. We have plans to make other corner pockets. We sewed in our signature. We talked about how we sew in the pocket. We added some trim up there. So we have some pre-made ephemera, you know, it's just going to go in these pockets. Let me get my glue stick closed up. So guys, anybody have a question for me before I leave until next craft with me? Bye, Misty. Anybody have anything for me before we leave? Before I leave? You find something to stick in here. Ooh, she's pretty in here. She's pretty in there. She needs a little something, little zhuzhing, little fabric tab sewn at the top of her, something. But she's definitely pretty in there. I really like that. Anybody have anything for me before we leave? So we have all of this tags and journal cards. We have all of this pile of pockets that just need tiny little embellishments put on them. We have some pockets that we've already placed in here to be glued down. We have some corner pockets that are in progress. I think we're pretty good on this journal, guys. Obviously, we'll keep working. We'll keep working on the journal. I will be here next Friday. That's my plan. If Friday doesn't happen, it'll be Saturday morning. We'll have to play it by ear while I am technically on vacation. I mean, I'm not really on vacation, but you guys know what that means. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera back around, say my goodbyes, and that's it. I'm going to go get my hair done. It's time, guys. It's time. Thank you, Ria. I know. It's just a mess. I don't really enjoy any of that kind of like beauty stuff. I just don't. I'm not that kind of person. But it is a necessary evil. Otherwise, I have like seriously like, where's my part? I have serious like, how can I do this? I can't show you. My camera there. See how much gray? Like I have almost completely gray hair. I've never let it grow out gray. This is the most you guys ever see with gray because I just don't like it. But I have so much gray in my hair that it is pretty much just gray, maybe salt and pepper, but it's more gray than it is salt. I mean, it's more pepper. No, it's more salt than it is pepper. Oh my goodness. So let me go get my hair done at my appointment, and I will be back on Friday or Saturday next week crafting. I might pop on before then, depending on if I want to do a project or something, or if I want to work on this journal more or whatever. I might pop on before that because you guys know when Tuesday rolls around and I don't have a live sale, I'm going to be like, well, what do I do? So I might just come on Tuesdays and craft. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But that's kind of the plan. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I hope that you get lots of things done. I know everyone is busy this time of year. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Try to get some you time in where you can, relax, craft something, do something that you enjoy doing. And then I will see you guys back here next week. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for craft with me. I appreciate it. And I will keep in touch with all of you guys in the Facebook group in the meantime. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.